Every once in a while, NASCAR will throw us a wreckfest race that is just hard to watch. However, I don't think any race in the past 20 years can compare to the carnage that was the 1996 ARCA race at Atlanta. This race featured multiple flips, many hard crashes, and 27 retirements out of the 42 runners. It was the final race of the 1996 ARCA season, with not much to play for. Tim still led the standings by almost 1,000 points, taking home 11 wins in the first 24 races. However, there was still a win to play for. Rich Bickle showed up and showed off his abilities in his only start of the 1996 season, taking pole for the 1996 General Tire Hoosier 500K at Atlanta. The race started off rather calm. Just kidding. Lap 2 featured Bob Hill's car slowing down after starting on the second row. By lap 3, Marty Ward was praying for a caution flag as his car slowed, but ultimately retired. No caution for either of these incidents. Now on to lap 8.
As caution on the speedway, heavy impact. Car number 80 and one car tumbling end over end out of turn 4 as contact continues.
That's John Gill, the 80 car, I guess.
And the 24 looks to be one car, Mickey Hudspeth, out of Rhonda, North Carolina.
Mike Swaim Jr. in car number 90 is involved with this, along with Kevin Ray and also Billy Thomas, but they took the least amount of the impact in that major tumble.
The 8 that you see is car number 80. That is John Gill. There's 48. That's Roger Blackstock that started that car.
The outside in car number 94, there's the red car.
Hudspeth loses control, goes up the racetrack, hits the wall. Oh, and then it's the 24 car that tumbled over.
Yeah, Hudspeth tumbles. He gets tagged from behind by the 80 car. That is John Gill. 80 comes across. He gets hit from the side by Whittemore. Whittemore is tagged from behind. And here is Billy Thomas, a 22 car involved. And then cars began to slip and slide and beat and bang on both the inside and outside concrete walls. Different angle this time.
There we see Hudspeth. Now about right here is when Gill goes in and boom, hits him and really starts him tumbling down the racetrack. As a matter of fact, the car landed on top of John Gill's car.
Watch Whittemore hit Gill now in the side, and then Whittemore gets hit directly from behind.
Mikey Hudspeth tumbled down the front stretch as ARCA Brakes were on full display as what should have been a 2-car crash turned into a massive pile-up collecting 8 cars, some of which started in the top 15. Hudspeth would unfortunately lose his hand as a result of the incident. After a lengthy red flag, the race finally turned green. 2 more cars retired due to mechanical problems. On lap 35, the second terrible crash happened.
Jim Wilson
takes the spot away.
No! Whoa, trouble up in turn 3. Ron Burchett's car slams the concrete backwards and now tumbles on its roof. Traffic trying to separate, and there comes, looks like the 0 car. That was Delma Coward. Oh my goodness, heavy impact in turn 3. Second horrendous incident here in the early laps.
There we see looks like he tries to drive under those 2 cars and gets back end out, comes along, the roof flaps do come up, keeps the car on the ground, and bam! He slams in the inside wall. Now the car's going to turn about 90 degrees, backs in the fence, and it will start. The rear tire comes off, knocks the rear tire off. He gets under the car and kind of wants to flip the car over. It does flip it over. Now here will come Delma Coward in the 0, and
right side of your screen,
it slide into that car. Wow.
Coward's car number 0 hitting the car from underneath.
We saw that last year with Ed Dixon doing the same thing at this race last year.
Delma Coward slammed into the already destroyed Pontiac of Ron Burchett. Ron tumbled, being already the second race car to flip in the first 60 miles of the race. Racing resumed and Norm Benning's car failed, ending his race prematurely. By the next caution, 3 more engines expired. The race was blessed with a normal caution after Billy Standridge hit the outside wall in lap 59, bringing the total to 17 cars out of the race and barely a quarter of the way over. The next 60 laps were relatively calm, however 2 cautions for flat tires happened on lap 95 and lap 111. On the restart, things would get wild. The lapped car of Harris Devane would be black flagged for jumping the leader, Tim Still, as the mid-pack scrambled. Perry Tripp would appear to be on for a routine spin on the backstretch, but Doug Reed III had something to say about it.
There have been 6 lead changes.
The 6 car of Perry Tripp comes off the corner, spins, and the car's still going. Oh, and he gets hit by Doug Reed. Oh, my goodness. Almost all the cars made it. Now Jeff Jones in the 8's going to spin, but so far he hasn't hit anything. Put it in gear, Jeff. Drive. Put it the one on the right. Hit it and go.
That's the 8 car. Other traffic now coming by. Debris all over the backstretch. And there's the Doug Reed car, the Med partner. See, there's Bobby Bowser going by. For an angle, there's the 6 car up across into the concrete. Watch him come back down. And watch the 05. He is pinned with traffic on the inside. He couldn't go low. He had nowhere to go. Traffic above him and below him.
He piled into Tripp, sending Jeff Jones into a spin for good measure, adding 2 more cars to the DNF column. A few more mechanical failures and a couple more minor yellows kept the race entertaining for the next 60 laps, until lap 182 treated us to the last major incident of the day.
5 laps down.
Got a crash coming off the second corner. There's 3 cars over there. Heavy damage to 3 of them.
Mike Cicchetti in car number 17 there, who had been posted our leader earlier. 75 is Jerry Hill. This is all happening over in car number 4. We've got a fire on car 17.
You got one back there burning.
Whoa,
You got one up against the wall, one against the inside.
And that's Mike Cicchetti's car. Mike needs to climb out of that Chevy there. The safety crews and firemen on the scene. The back of that car pretty well used up. And now the fireman runs to the back where the fire is. Let's take a look and see if we can see what happened a moment ago.
Cicchetti just simply lost control. He tries to save it. He goes out on the apron of the racetrack, but he has the wheel turned left. See how the wheels are turned to the right? When the car finally starts to stop, it's going to go right back across the racetrack. Heavy damage to the retaining wall. Then that sheet metal dragging just sets the gasoline on fire. There, the 75 car of Jerry Hill goes by backwards.
And Cicchetti has the wheel still turning, but the frame is bent down to the back of the car is off the racetrack.
There's a 75 car that he's made. Who's that car he's made contact with, Ray, on the inside?
Mike Cicchetti completely lost control into turn 1, slid onto the apron and back up into the outside wall, collecting a couple others in a fiery wreck. This would be the final caution, sort of. The race would return to green, but would end early on lap 196 out of 205 due to darkness. It would be Joey Bessie who would survive and win the race, while only 5 others finished on the lead lap. Only 11 cars within 10 laps of the race leader, while the rest of the field of 42 limped home in broken machinery or retired altogether. We complain about ARCA now, but at least there hasn't been a rainy day like this for a long time in the series.